Ladies and gentlemen, would you put your hands together and welcome two wonderful people. Phineas and Ashe, the favors are here. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to see your smiling face. Well, you're smiling. Why are you smiling?
I'm smiling right now.
I'm just kidding. It's more smizing. And how we have this wonderful debut album from two people who I feel probably could have made 10 albums by now, given the nature of your friendship and how close you both are. But boy, did you time it right. I love it. The dream. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. How you feeling now? It's getting real close. Real close.
Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah, I feel like a little kid. It's like, this is my Christmas. I'm so thrilled and, grateful. And yeah, we just made something I love so much and with someone I love so much. And
yeah. It's beautiful. It's going to make actually for a very special Christmas because you'll have done the shows and put the music out and live with it for a minute and everyone will love it and you'll know that there's a long road if you want there to be for this beautiful kind of on and off favors experience. So you'll be able to like put your feet up this Christmas and be like, fuck yeah, we achieved something this year. We pulled it off.
Ashe also has like double duty because she's about to get married. So Ashe has
congratulations. Amazing.
She goes from like, we're playing a show this weekend in Hollywood Forever Cemetery.
Yep.
We have a couple days between favors where she goes and does like Ashe solo shows. Then we go to New York. Then we go to Austin, Texas for Austin City Limits.
ECO, yeah.
And it's like weekend of that, and then the weekend of her wedding. So it's like busy ass.
That's a lot of life going on.
Yeah.
That's a lot of life.
So her December really will be like
my heart is racing right now.
vegetative
Yeah, I bet
thing.
you've got a lot going on. So somehow in between shows, you're taste testing, and that's probably already done.
Seating charts.
The seating chart definitely is a fucking nightmare.
Figuring out where to put Phineas.
Where's he sitting?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, right?
I don't know.
It's a great.
At a table with our band.
Yeah.
probably.
Oh, right.
Band table.
Band table.
At the back.
Yeah.
A little bit at the back. Put a little bit at the back. Because the trouble always has to go to the back. And not because they're trouble, but because all the good fun starts at the back and then sweeps through the formality of a wedding, right? Not to say you're going to have an overly formal wedding, but there's just this formality that comes with these things. What you want is the people standing up and dancing on the tables, and then the people closest to the bride and groom start to feel the wave of energy.
I also feel like I kind of have to hide him because I'm going to have that one random aunt that's going to want to go up to you and be like,
you're
oh my
so
gosh,
cute. I love you. You're so great.
I should warn
Very
you.
prepared.
I'll prepare you. Yeah.
I listen to your music all the time.
So,
You're an old soul. You're an old soul.
Till the world falls apart. I love that song.
I love that song. You're such an old soul.
Did you used to get that
Why
as a
is he your
kid?
age?
I feel like
I think
that's...
I've called you.
You are an old soul.
Thanks, Zane. I appreciate it. I feel like that's
He
just
is.
like a thing that I'm prepared to say that like, that just seems like, do you mean that a person isn't like the dumbest kid you've ever talked to? Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's like less of a compliment and more of a like,
It's a light
thing
compliment,
to say.
but it is also definitely a gateway drug for old people to dump their shit on you.
They're like, this is my trauma dump
my trauma
opportunity.
dump.
You can't trauma bond with him. He's 7. His biggest
years
concern is
old.
Minecraft. Relax.
I mean, I met Phineas. He was 19 when we met, and like a few months later, I was going through divorce, and I was like, I called him first. Like, what? Poor kid.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely
kid.
went through it.
wrong
I was
with
like,
you?
I know who to call.
No, but you need those friends in your life for sure. And you do have that. I mean, that's what makes you such a special collaborator in person to write music with, because you have this incredible ability to listen and translate and not own someone's feelings, but make them understand them a little bit better. It's how
Sweet of you to say. Ashe is like that too, man. I mean, I think that like, our sort of, our friendship has a lot to do with a kind of a mutual like curiosity. I think that like over the years I've sort of looked at like why I feel super affectionately towards somebody, and obviously like people's talent or energy is important, but I think people's curiosity is this big underrepresented societal.
It's one of my favorite
trait.
words.
Yeah, I mean, you have a job that really has, I
You
feel like
stay curious.
89% to do with curiosity.
Pretty unlimited curiosity,
Yeah.
definitely. On a day like today, where I sort of get to spend time talking with you about music and everything that goes through it, it's very different to the next conversation
Sure.
I have, and that's one of the things I love about it for sure.
Do you ever have to do a thing where like we leave the room and somebody else comes in, or maybe somebody else has left and we come in and you have a like, so, whoa, I gotta shift my...
It's severance. No, for sure. That happened last week because we had Halsey,
Yeah.
and then we went straight to Spinal Tap
Whoa.
with no break.
Whoa.
And so with Halsey, you have to like, or maybe you don't have to, but like maybe you are using like, I don't know, she's celebrating her 10 years of Badlands, right?
Yeah,
That's
but
why she's here.
But you know, Ash, I mean, she was, and this is going to come out, I guess, this week, when next week, it's on this week. It was a very honest Ash, it was a very honest Halsey. She was very, very upfront about how she's feeling.
But this is what I'm saying is that's
Spinal Tap, not so much.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, big
right,
shift.
you go
What do you
from-
do for the palate cleanser between those two chats, right?
yeah. You have a slice of ginger and a little bit of wasabi, and you make it work.
Yeah, exactly.
Sniff some coffee beans.
Yeah, exactly.
The album starts really in a beautiful kind of sort of soft duet, kind of a really playful, wonderful kind of introduction of each other. It's like you almost convince us that you don't know each other, which I really, really
Love
like.
that.
It's like we're meeting for the first time somewhere maybe on a train station or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like there's a sense of like a first impression of the Favors, which is Restless Little Heart. We can't play that because it's not out. But then what I really love about it is it goes very quickly into the dream, and it feels very much like there's a band in the room, to the point where we hear you off mic kind of like, all right, Ash energy.
It's like, fuck it up. And all those little ad libs and things Phineas purposely left in there. And there's like is it the end of the dream or David's brother where David's kit, like,
the symbol falls at the end of the dream.
Falls, and he's like, did you see the symbol fall? I was like,
So
fuck
sick.
yeah.
And you're like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. Rock that shit.
Yeah. We were very like, we were having a really cute
so
sort
fun.
of like band romantic cinematic experience, you know.
I love that you kept that stuff in because it does bring us into the room straight away. There's a lot of times, and you know this in recorded music, both of you, that that stuff gets shaved off. It gets no, it's not perfect. It's got to be
And
perfect.
sometimes that's the right thing to do. Sometimes you're like, that's super annoying that we left that in there.
Yeah, we took out a couple.
It's charming.
Yeah.
The ones we left I think are
I
charming.
left all of them in initially, and then like the song "The Hudson," which is a very like, to me, Ash brought that song in. Like, to me, that's like on the more tragic side of the record. I think that's like a tragic record. And we'd played the song 45 times by the time we were like cutting it. And originally the end of it is us like, like finishing the song and like laughing at something somebody said or made a face or whatever.
Sort of
And
undermines the tragedy.
Well,
a
yeah,
little
exactly.
bit,
And so like to me, I was like, that's fine. And then when I was like mixing the record, I was like, we got to cut this because it does sort of cancel out the thing that I really want to sit with at the end of that song.
Thank goodness you were able to your point about how I do it, and you compartmentalized yourself away from someone who enjoyed the room to someone who has to finish the record and present it to everybody else because it can't just belong to you forever.
Yeah.
You have to, what's my son told me the other day, he was like, mixing is where he takes it out of your hands and makes it and puts it in everybody else's hands.
Is that how he talks?
No, a little bit.
Poor
A
kid.
little bit. But yeah, I definitely painted a bad picture there. But really, I was focusing on the smart quote. But he really, that's what it is. And so it must be really nice in a way to be able to successfully do that and listen back to the record away from the party of making it.
Yeah, no, it was really helpful. Aaron Forbes, who is like my music director of many years and co-mixed Billy's record and co-mixed my record, mixed this album with me, and he's great. And that was really, we kept this such an insular process, and he was like the sort of only real outsider that came into the sort of creation of these songs. And it was really helpful because first of all, we didn't have to take it to too many people. It was really him and then a mastering engineer, Rory O'Flaherty, who was amazing. But just having one person who wasn't around for the writing or the recording to really just sort of editorialize was a kind of a relief.
Yeah, and like, am I crazy? 'Cause
Yeah.
we had a great time making this.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
will other people enjoy it as much as we enjoyed making it?
Yeah.
The answer is most certainly yes. It is a sad story. I don't know. I didn't find it like, there was also something very charming in there as well. It's not like it's, I wasn't listening to like Anima by Tom York, but like, tell us the story about writing this, because if you brought this one in and you had the courage to share it with everybody and say, hey, look, I might have one that's kind of already pretty baked. I mean, where did it come from?
This was one of the first ones I brought in. I brought in a few, and Finn did as well. Little Mess is that song, Phineas. Because most of the record is very much us together writing it. And it gave us a jumping off point to just like, where the heck do we start or begin? And I don't know. I've always sort of lingered over a tortured love lost. That always, I love writing about that. And this was an opportunity in the setting between Phineas and I to like create our own narrative and script and kind of create a whole new world. And so, I started with this song that was, rooted in an original like heartbreak and falling in love with this guy in New York who totally like, the one that got away kind of feeling. And And I brought it to Phineas, and I was like, what you think about this? And it just felt really right for, I don't know, the sound felt right for our little band.
You painted a perfect picture. I've stood there in Hudson Yards
Yeah.
and watched that sun go down over the Hudson, and with the church in the front of it, and it's something.
Yeah, the trees were bare naked, and so were we.
When I
two old
heard that line, I
strangers.
was like so happy about
Such a good one.
Over
right?
the last couple years, I've been I feel like we've talked about this, but like I've become like more and more focused on sort of like loving and being involved in a process that's really joyous and satisfying.
And not just results driven.
Yeah, I think because you have so little control over the results portion of it. And also, even if you can guarantee that something's going to be successful, the results portion of it is like a small fragment of your whole life, which is right. It's like you know what I mean? You could do an interview in here that you're like, oh, that was really good. But if during the interview you're like, I hated that room I was in, there was no daylight or whatever, you really have to be like, I can do that again. It's like a sustainability thing.
God forbid you have a hit song that you hate or that you had a terrible experience making it, because for the rest of your life,
You got to do it.
you're gonna have to do that.
You got to
song.
make friends with that song pretty fast.
Like,
Yeah.
I will happily sing this at 70
Yeah.
with Phineas.
Here's the
hopefully,
really good news.
if the world isn't burned down.
And well, there is that.
We'll see.
But I don't want to take anything away from the joy of this as a first impression. But these songs will sound even better when you're 70.
Ooh.
because you will just live in them. And
Yeah,
live in
yeah.
Be
them,
like,
and
we
they
were so young and happy.
And literally, like on Ordinary People, there's a moment when you say, I'm not ready, and you laugh. And the take, and it's so cute.
Ooh, which we almost took out.
That was a
No,
live,
I
that
would have
was
been
a-
so mad if I'd known that.
That was a live take. That was like why
No shit.
That was why we went with that one. We doubled back and tried to re-record that to click and do a better job. And I was just like, dude, it's so that was like within an hour of us having written it and shown it to David on drums and Ricky on guitar. It was like doing that take, and it's rough, and I'm giggling and whatever. And
so
you're like,
charming.
you got to keep that on. It's too fun.
Well, that's part of what makes this album, The Dream by the Favors, who I guess everybody listening and watching around the world, are such an endearing and great experience to listen to, is because you really, like I said, a lot of times people make music and they dress it up to such a degree, it's like I'm almost not invited. I have to make it my party because I'm not actually invited to the party that made it, right?
Wow, that's
And
good.
you guys invite everybody to the party on this record. Like we
Thanks,
are in the room with you, which is really fun.
That's awesome.
I'm so happy you say that.
So how long did you guys like enjoy making this for?
How long did you go for?
Started really close to 2 years ago. Ash flew out around Halloween 2023.
Yeah, because you're in Nashville, right?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, I love it there. Yeah, Halloween was the first trip, and I was coming out of a real musical hiatus and like hadn't been in the world at all. Came to LA, we started working on this record, like went to Halloween parties with Phineas. And I was like, where am I? What is this universe? Totally other. I was in a very like domestic gardening,
Yeah.
painting murals in my bathroom
Kind of
phase.
getting your life back in order kind of time.
Yeah.
Right? That's what that stuff is all about, right? It's like
Yeah.
what's really important right now.
Yeah. And obviously, what also was so important to me was making music with my friend. And so it was like a nice reintroduction to the world. But then I went back home and was like, okay. And then I want to say I came back in, I don't know,
April. Yep.
That was like the two
Writing
week
trip number 2.
Were you the Favors at this point, or were you just mucking around?
We had a name. Yeah, we kind of premeditated all of the sort of ingredients, so to speak, right? We were like, let's make a record as a band. Let's have a band name.
Can I ask if one of you was a little more prepared for that than the other? Or did one of you sort of come and sort of say, hey, look, I think we should like solidify this and not just make it a Phineas Ashe collaboration thing. We should be a band.
No, Ash's first text was like, let's make it a band.
Love that.
Like, it was the very first thing was not, do you want to make some songs
Really,
together?
really loved it. It was you that said that, because obviously, only because at the time Phineas was active making music, and it would have been easier to assume that he was in the matrix of kind of frameworks and, oh, we could do it like this and this and position this would work perfectly in my life and between this album, this part of my life.
Oh,
But you were out there painting and hanging out in the garden and just figuring out how to make a really great balance for your life. And then you're thinking, you know what? Maybe I want to be in a band.
Just fire off the text. You want to start a band? Like, it's just such like a random like.
It was so cool.
I was really hoping also that Phineas would be like maybe in a phase of his life where he was bored in some way, and it could bring like, no, he is so. I mean, he's the consummate professional artist, just like brilliant, and always has his hand in so many different fields, and he's so proficient at all of them. But I knew this fucker wasn't in a band.
Yeah.
And
That's
I was
the one
like,
thing he hasn't
and
been
you know
in.
what would have broken my heart is if I found out Phineas started a band with somebody else, and they didn't invite me to
So
be
you were
in it.
flushing it out in a strange
So
way.
I was beating someone else to the punch.
Yeah,
She also
100%.
was right. I really felt like I needed some new thing to kind of rediscover how to do something. I mean, I was like, even though you're saying I was in the middle of something, the things I was in the middle of at the time when Ash sent me the text was like I was in the middle of making Billy's third record, and I was working on this TV show score, and I was sort of procrastinating making another solo record because it sounded lonely, and so I was like, you know what, this is actually going to solve my problem, which is like I'm gonna get to sing and write for myself, but in this super collaborative process.
And bring your buddies with you too, because
and Ash, and then we brought my other two buddies. That it's like it's all been such a fun. I mean, you know Ricky Gourmet, who's had a great year with the Audrey Hobart record and
he's
everything.
producing
and,
wonderful things. I know some other things he's cooking up right
Yeah,
now. He's got
man.
great taste.
But so it's all been really super fun and collaborative, which is like, you feel like, I bet you feel this way too. It's like rare and lucky enough to succeed in any format at all. You know what I mean? Like if it were just me riding Billy's coattails forever, 2 thumbs up. It's been awesome. And then like I've had some success on my own as a solo artist, also feel super privileged. And then it's like, oh my God, we get to do this whole new format and bring like one person I've known since I was 15 in, and Ash, who I've known since I was 19. Like there's this kind of collaborative thing. It's so fun.
I think this applies to both of you. Is it's like one step leads to the next, which sounds like an obvious thing to say.
Agreed.
That's how we move in life. But often we try to control things and create these opportunities before they even happen. And what I love is the fact that, of course, you and Billy have an amazing collaborative and creative relationship, regardless of the family bond.
Sure.
And the friendship here is and across the favors makes total sense. But when you describe it as like there's that, and then there's my record, and then there's your music, and then there's the favors, they all are encouraging each other to exist. Nothing is distracting from each other. It's one beautiful thing.
It makes everything better too. Like I am a better songwriter and artist because I wrote
made this
the dream.
record.
Of Phineas and these guys.
Yeah.
Like
I
that's always what I want.
To me, it's the difference between like a filmmaker making, like Paul Thomas Anderson making There Will Be Blood and Phantom Thread and The Master versus like this movie and a sequel to this movie and a sequel to that movie. And a sequel. Like I'm going to learn more as a creative. Again, there's movies where like I love the sequel and the third one.
Because
I
I
love
want
a
to hear a
trilogy.
bad word against Die Hard 3. Just
I was about to say, John Wick has some redeeming qualities.
No,
FYI.
and again, like, this is a different, ball wax, but like the Lord of the Rings trilogies, like I love those films so much.
That's also a
I'm
relief.
kind of just saying that as a creative, I think I would learn more from just going a completely different direction and making a totally different film with different characters. And that's kind of how making the Dream album feels.
until you've made your 10th favors record.
Sure.
And then I'm going to keep you honest, and you're going to be like, yeah, it's the same awesome quality top to bottom. How are the shows though? Okay.
Well, we're about to
Rehearsals?
we got 2 shows in the rest. Well, yeah, we've got LA and New York, and then we've got ACL. So we've got, I guess, 3 cities.
Oh, and
Rehearsals
you've
are
got
going
Red Rocks.
really
Red
well.
Rocks had to go. We had scheduling conflicts, but maybe next
That's a
year
bummer.
we shall
Not
see.
for me. I was going to make that possibly my first Red Rock
I mean,
show. and
your
then I
girl-
couldn't.
Oh, sorry.
I mean,
next
I'm
time.
getting super married.
Oh, it's you.
Oh,
Yeah.
No.
It's your
I
marriage.
mean, there's a lot to it,
Yeah,
but
there's a lot to it.
yeah.
Nuptials.
Yeah.
so pointed. It's your marriage.
Rehearsals though are like kind of
They've been really fun.
smashing.
Are we talking about wedding rehearsals or band rehearsals right
Band
now?
rehearsals.
Both. No.
You are
You know,
so
Okay, so we're
full
doing
of
these
life right now.
rehearsals, and the thing about rehearsal for anybody who's listening is like, it's the same amount of work for one show
As
that
it
it
is.
would be for 50 if we were doing a world tour.
What do you think? Coldplay have been on the road for 6 years. It's
Sure.
way more effort to get off the road than
And
to stay
we,
on it.
I think I've told you this, but maybe I haven't. I was at a restaurant. I was at Crossroads in West Hollywood.
Shout to
and
Vegan
Tony,
Massive.
Yeah. And Tony Canal from No Doubt was there. And
Famous vegan.
yes, famous.
How's his hair? Still perfect?
Still perfect.
Yeah, just, wow.
And I talked to him because we had just started rehearsal. And I
Yeah.
said to Tony, Coachella was it, right? Like in terms of like they didn't do more shows last year or whatever. And he goes, nope, just Coachella. And I was like, didn't you have to rehearse for 6 weeks to build that show and you only had one shot? Because the magic of tour is like
You get to figure it out,
You goof
yeah.
the intro to one song and then you're like, I'll get them tomorrow.
And you never play LA or New York first.
That's right.
On a tour.
Never. It's
You
true.
always do it like third or fourth show in, so you've like warmed
If
up.
at all, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
as
yeah.
someone who,
Yeah.
with Hanuman, goes through the news
Yeah.
daily,
Yeah.
and a lot of that revolves around tour announcements. Let
Yeah.
me tell you, for everyone who says Los Angeles and New York get spoiled, they don't often make it in the first
sometimes-
round.
Yeah,
No,
true.
no. Let's see how Cincinnati goes.
True,
You know?
true. So I'm talking to Tony. I go, so you guys only did Coachella double weekend. That's it. And I was like, you probably rehearsed your asses off for that. How was it? Like, kind of expecting him to say what I'm afraid of, which was like, it was a lot of fucking work. And then we did one show.
We're
and
not a huge
yeah.
fan.
I wasn't as present or whatever. I was like, how was it? And he goes, it was awesome.
Aw.
And I was like, okay. Like, you didn't wish like, oh, we're doing 100 shows this year. And he was like, it was great. And I think that to
That's
be
sweet.
fair, these couple shows we have, it's like probably just a reminder to be super present.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you get, a couple months into a run, like we probably both did in the past 12 months. And you get a couple months in and you're like, oh, I'm feeling kind of ill today on stage in, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to muscle through this and then I'll be done.
When you're doing 3 months,
Yeah.
that's the same as anybody else waking up and going to work in any job
Yeah.
and feeling under the
True.
weather. It's your
That's true.
life.
Yeah, that's true.
It's one night for that fan or that audience member. It's like they've been looking forward to that one night, but we've been on the road breaking our back for however long. And it's a really cool, unique experience that we are. I mean, we're working our asses off in rehearsal. We're not like fooling around. I mean, we're having a blast for sure, but like we're gonna get to that show, and I think I'm gonna both be so scared. And also maybe feel the most joy I ever have on stage because of this like preparation.
I'm not trying to audit your life or anything, Ash, but if I think about like where you stand right now as a human being,
Should I be scared?
No, I think you should feel like the happiest person on earth because you have this opportunity to make music with your friends, which is open-ended.
Yeah.
I'm going to just say it's open-ended.
Yep. You got more solo music to make.
More solo music to make, so you've got the spark to want to carry that forward.
Yeah.
You're about to get married. I mean, shit, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
It's
know
a good
what
spot.
I don't know where
Stand in
you
the
are
place
on
where
your,
you live.
Yeah, on your manifestation journey of life. Like, I don't put much stock or credence behind it, but like
What?
Claudia reminds.
Manifestation?
Yeah,
Oh.
What?
I don't. I mean, again, I'm not trying to.
Oh, I'm woo woo with you. I'm
yeah,
right.
but there you go. Like, this
Locked
feels
in.
like a very
And
like
also, are you
manifested.
buying this shit from
manifested
him? I don't know
year.
if I'm buying this shit.
This is before the tour starts. Wait, but by the end of it, he's gonna have a spirit board. He's gonna be burning stage.
I think Phineas is also the guy that like 3 years ago he said something I can't say that he's like, I'm gonna do this.
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
like, okay. And like the fact that like slowly your dreams come to life.
Say it.
No,
No, I
I'm
can't
just
ever.
saying. I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying.
Just
Like,
like I do
love
think
Apple
you,
Music,
you
can't
do
say it.
manifest.
you
Like
do.
you, but
Sure.
not in the terms of like, hey universe, please bring this. To
Well, maybe
me.
it doesn't need to be so specific or overt. I mean, you're just like you put it out there and
He's
you
like
work
a
towards
chess
it.
player.
Yeah,
It's
there you
more
go.
like a game.
I think it's like I try to, again, I'm not trying to co-opt this conversation. Everybody in my life who I love manifests or practices it, whatever. I think to me it's like I just have a kind of a like, ooh, I would love to do that. And then I try to set stuff in motion.
How do I get there?
There you go.
You know
So
what I
okay,
mean?
yeah, I do know what
I
you
do
mean.
have some friends who are kind of like, and this is not Ash, just to be clear, but I have some friends who are like,
Is it me?
it's not Zane either,
Okay.
but I have some friends who are like, I'm manifesting that. And I'm like, right, are you
Yeah. What does that mean?
doing
I get that.
anything? Like,
I get that.
like, are you
Well,
practicing the skill? Are you
Yeah.
learning about
it's
it?
quirky math.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
what
yeah.
it is, it's quirky math, and it's like you sort of apply it however you want. The beautiful
I'm
thing
hoping
is,
and wishing and dreaming. If that's manifesting, then I'm totally doing it.
yes,
I just look at it as like,
And
as
here's
like
the other thing about that,
hoping
all that
Yeah.
quirky stuff, is people get really they think it's a replacement for work.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
It's
kind of
not a
that's kind of what I'm
replacement for
saying
work.
about this is like if Ash is a manifester, she's also a wake up at 5 a.m.
Yeah, you need
make
action
a-
behind it. Action
make
behind
a
it.
mood board for the thing she's shooting, write a treatment for the thing, write a new
Calculated.
song, like she's a real worker.
Well, and even with
person.
like this wedding, like I'm far more interested in the marriage than I am the wedding day, and so
Sweet
we're
thing
doing
to
like
say.
Pretty common.
well, hopefully, yeah. Well, and like we're doing premarital counseling, like just things that, and that's more of like a. Most people who are like religious do it. We're not, and I was like, I still think that's something that might be helpful for us to do.
I think it's incredibly
And like,
smart.
it's just like when we got to our first counseling session, he's like, so what issues do you need to work through? I'm like, oh no, we're just here to like make the foundation of the thing as like tough and strong as it can be.
I think that's awesome, and I tell you why. I don't know you two as a couple, but I know relationships, and Phineas knows this. I've been married for 26 years, and I've been part of the whole almost.
shout out Cara.
Congrats.
Shout out Cara. Phineas knows and loves my wife as well. So it's one of those things where I think you can never take the process for granted. Just because
Yeah.
the word love is a strong and powerful sentiment, it shouldn't be uncared for and catered for and nurtured.
Yeah.
And it's also complex. And so you've really got to do that. Like I always felt that Chris and Gwyneth got a really rough ride when they came out and said, we're going to consciously uncouple, because everyone got on the internet about it, and the internet will have its way, and took that term and made merch. And it really wasn't about the term. It was about the sentiment. I'm deadly serious when I say this. I'm very serious when I say this. The sentiment of coming to the end of a time as a couple and deciding to focus on that ending as much as you would on the beginning is great for the kids, great for the friendship, great for all that stuff. And I've seen friends of mine in the last 4 or 5 years go through nuclear level
Yeah.
divorce.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
scorched earth shit.
Sure.
Like,
Tough.
so it's like, I just think, yeah, man, put the effort into your relationships in every way.
But yeah, being strategic about your life in pretty much every arena, like whether
Yeah.
it's making a band with your friend or getting
Well,
married.
and I also think that people, this can apply to these relationships and it can equally apply to other stuff. But I do think that people are weirdly unwilling to prepare for something that might not happen.
So,
Do you know what I mean? When you bring up somebody, when you say like, what if this,
Dead
when you
silence.
say to somebody like, what if that happens? It could be the most positive thing in the world. It could also be a very negative thing. They're like, it's not going to happen. You go like, sure, might not. But what if it does? You know what I mean? And that to me is like, that to me would be the benefit of marriage counseling or
Yeah.
it's just like you go like, hey, this thing that is maybe totally unlikely, but how are we going to cross that bridge when it comes, or how are we going to prepare to
What
cross
I
that
love
bridge?
about
like a
that,
prenup.
it is kind of an emotional prenup in a way, because what I love
Yeah.
about that is it's a safe space for two people to share any fears or thoughts they may have and have somebody be able to unpack it before you get on the road and you get into the giddy shit. Because
Yeah.
the giddy shit is awesome.
Yeah.
And you want to hold on to that forever.
Yeah.
But it will spike and drop and spike and drop, right? Because
Yeah.
life is life.
Yeah, I mean, this is a personal anecdote and not this is not a marriage thing, obviously, but like in 2022,
Yeah.
I said to Billy, like, hey, like end of this album cycle, which is like 2 years from now, beginning of the next album cycle, like I worry that I'm not going to have enough time to be on the road with you all the time and on the road on my own. I have a big touring year.
Were you nervous before you had that? We never asked you that.
It was like 2 years earlier. So to me, I wasn't, because it was so far in the future.
But you also
But I basically said, like, I'm finishing this entire thing. I'm like, I'm not going to quit at all. I just think that the next time you build this, I'm not going to be able to make all of them work. I'll be at whatever I can be. I've still, in the past year, done like SNL and the Grammys and all of the promo, but I was like, I'm not going to be able to be at everything. And so you premeditate it. And to me, I was like very calm, because it was all kind of like, that's 2 years out. We have all this time.
Yeah.
And then, not to throw them under the bus, but like my mom and my dad and my sister, as the time went on, were like, what the fuck? And I was like, I told you 2 years ago that
You
this,
prepared,
like,
yeah.
like you just have to be, and way earlier than we probably needed to in 2024, like probably at the beginning of 2024, I was like, time to build a band. It's time to find the people. And like, there was this kind of groan
we
amongst the
hear-
family of like, ugh, we don't have to do that yet. And I
'cause
was
we
like,
hear
do.
what we wanna
have to
hear.
do it right now.
You know
because-
Lily wanted to hear that
Yeah.
in 2022. She was like, whatever, big bro, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Like,
Also, people, I think, sometimes think you won't mean it. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, that's how you feel now. But wait till 2 years
Phineas is
from now.
also all of our ace. You know, like
So sweet, Ash.
he is the ace in all of our lives. And I think that like
very
the
true.
minute you're like, oh, like the next time I have to do an interview without him for my solo stuff, I'm going to be so sad.
Well, just come in here, do it with me, and we'll be fine. Because, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you and I will be good, but
be
like
good.
literally anybody else, I'm gonna be so sad. And Phineas really, he just like he makes you better, and he makes just like everything easier. And I think like your sister felt that, your
Yeah.
parents felt that, and like
I've
just
called
a
him.
testament to
How many times have I called you for random
right.
advice?
Oh, I'm always honored when you do.
I called him for
love it.
most random advice. One in particular,
Like
which
what?
will not go on
Oh,
the air. But there was one in particular. I called him about something work related, and I was like, I don't know if I should do this. And he was just like really thoughtful and gave me the best take. And ultimately, I went ahead and did it. And
Yeah.
you know, I've done that a few
Was
times.
that his advice that you should do it? Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I
But
didn't know
I knew he would have told me straight up to not as well.
Yeah.
Like
well,
straight up.
because I understood why he didn't want to do it. I was like, I understand why you don't want to do it, but I think you should do it.
Yeah, it was good. It was good advice. Man.
Yeah, I get it from my mom. My mom has been so
Shout out Maggie B.
morbid
Meh.
my whole life. My mom's like, I'm not going to be around forever. Like, that's been her vibe. And
It's kind of actually sound. It's kind of a
It's
sound
fabulous
thing to
advice,
say
and
because it teaches
preparing
you to
for
think
this.
on your feet.
well, and again, it's the thing. It's an important thing because as a kid, it's the last thing you want to think about in the world is your mom not living as long as you live.
Yeah.
But it is like, geez, if we're going to talk about it, I guess I'll have to kind of
Come face to
think
face with
about
it
well, and
eventually,
also
yeah.
be precious with the time I have, and realize that everything in
It
life
also
is a,
teaches you the order of things,
yeah, it does.
which is really important too.
Yeah, I mean, Phineas and I feel like we early on connected on like, oh, we're constantly thinking about how everyone and us, we're gonna die.
Dude,
So-
absolutely. I mean, Marinelli, who plays drums in this band, his dad passed away in June this year, and a beautiful guy who loomed really large in my life as David's friend, and I'd known him since I was 14. And David and I talked about that too, and that in that way, his dad and my mom are kindred spirits because David was like, he was like, my entire life, my dad has been like, hey,
He's been prepared.
I'm gonna die. Like in that kind of like, I want you to live longer
That's
than
the
me.
order
and you
of
have
things.
To cope
That's-
with this.
You know, my mum is going through like a pretty heavy thing. She's got advanced dementia, and there's other things
sorry,
going on in my
Zane.
life.
That's terrible.
And there's other things going on in my life. So, but it's the order of things, and as sad as it makes me feel, I also feel a sense of real gratitude that
Yeah.
this is the order of things.
Yeah, well, and you're still alive to be witness to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like all witnessing each other's like joy and pain,
Yep.
and it's cool to be a part of, but tragic as well.
I'm going to play my mum this album when I see her in a month or two in New Zealand because the only way we can communicate really successfully is with music.
Is she in that place where music is still like pretty sharp?
Her eyes light up and she's in the room, right?
Unbelievable.
And
Whoa.
it's incredible, man. I mean, it reinforces what we all know, but we really have to remind everybody else, which is the magic of music, the frequency of a special frequency. And I'm going to play this album because I know she's going to love it. She's going to love it. But if she doesn't, she's got that kind of dementia where she'll tell me straight up,
I
turn
hate
it off,
this.
I fucking hate this.
Please tell us.
Give us the
Should I give the
Zane-
Liz review?
The Zane Mom album review.
Should I give it the
want.
Lizzie
Call
review?
Phineas immediately.
I will call Phineas immediately and be like, the Lizzie is in. And
She hated it, mate. She hated
it's
it.
a strong 1 out of 10. She didn't like it. She told me to turn it off and put Frank
One.
Sinatra back on.
One.
She's going to love it, man. Because it does have that sense of a really strong, the familiarity you want from somebody you've met for the first time and feel like you already know.
Oh wow.
That's what this record feels like. And those are the kind of people you want to hang out with all the time.
I've been making this analogy about this album for about a year.
Mine
and I'll
wasn't
make
good enough?
I'll
I thought that
close
was
it.
a-
No,
that
it's-
was- that was a
but
closer.
Yours
I'm
was
only
I thought that was a closer.
I'm only bringing it up because you've
all
reminded
right, no, go ahead.
The analogy is like I think sometimes in life, but especially as like a producer and a songwriter, I'm trying to do that thing that when you go to a restaurant and they serve you like some like Michelin star place and you're like, what is there's like a dollop of green and there's a leaf and
Nothing
there's
in it,
a
yeah.
crystal. And sometimes you eat it and it's like the best thing you ever had, but you're like, I don't know what this is. It's
Yeah.
alien to me.
Yeah.
I don't even, and then you describe it later, like, I don't even know what I just ate, but it was great. This album to me is like spaghetti with marinara and fresh basil. Like maybe
Okay.
it's something that you've had before, but you're like,
May
I,
I
like,
add-
you're
may I
like,
add
I
to
like
this?
this every time.
Yeah, I just have
sure.
one more shot at getting the last fucking word
Yeah.
on my show. All right. So what this
Nope.
what this is to continue to add because I love a food analogy as the team know. This
As
is
soon as you said spaghetti, I knew it was cooking.
he knew I was going with this.
Yeah.
The China is just so simple and beautiful. It's a raised plate with a beautiful deep bowl, but it's got a beautiful large rim around it, right?
Okay.
And you've ground the pasta out, but which you know a thing or two about because last time I had dinner at your house, you made fresh pasta.
Yeah.
So you've ground out the spaghetti. It's fresh. It's still warm. You can feel the love in it.
Yeah.
And it's in the perfect circle. And it's evol. It's the most expensive thing on the fucking plate, the evol, by the way. It's that kind of evol, right? And then you got some just beautiful, it could be truffle, could be just something. Right?
Something to grate.
And then you just serve it up.
Yeah.
And then you take a mouthful and you're like, fucking hell.
I do like that.
Stars in the post.
Nice job, Zane.
Stars in the post.
You brought it back and you closed it.
You gave him the last word. That was
This
nice,
is a real
Phineas.
insight into our friendship, right? Love you both so
Thanks for
much.
having us, man.
Oh, thank
Love you, dude.
you.
At the risk of crashing your vocal, have a wonderful wedding. Congratulations from your
Thank you
friends,
so
Paul and
Mazel tov.
Yeah,
Ash.
absolutely.
Thanks, everybody.